CIO News. I am Khushbu Soni, your host for the broadcast and a contributing editor at CIO News. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. This is an exclusive fireside chat powered by Avaya on transformation through customer experience. Businesses are built by the experiences they provide, and every day, millions of those experiences are delivered by Avaya, shaping what's next for the future of work with innovation and partnership that deliver game-changing business benefits. I'm excited to invite our guest for today. He's Mr. Srinivas, the Chief Information Officer at L&T Infrastructure Development Projects Limited. Mr. Srinivas is a strategic technology and a results-driven executive with overall 25 years of rich experience of global as well as Indian organizations. Mr. Srinivas has skill set in handling varied roles, that is leadership, strategist, and technologist. He has driven enterprise business strategy, business health and engagement goals, and healthy initiatives like innovation, harnessing and implementing latest technologies, digital transformations, architecting systems, roadmap, P&L, infrastructure, network, security to generate significant automation, productivity, and business outcomes. Mr. Srinivas, it's an absolute pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
Great. So along with me today, I have Bhavesh Vora. He's the sales engineering leader at Avaya India South. He's also a moderator for the session today. Bhavesh is a dynamic and result-oriented professional with progressive leadership experience in enterprise telecom and IT industry. Bhavesh has 20 years of rich experience working in various roles. Welcome, Bhavesh.
Yeah, thank you, Khushbu. Thanks for the introduction.
Over to you, Bhavesh, to drive this.
Okay, sure. Okay, good morning once again, Mr. Srinivas Rao. Thank you for joining us and spending your valuable time. Hopefully, we will learn a lot about you and your company, and also in turn, you learn something about us. So I will quickly start with some of the questions. I think as Khushbu mentioned, it will be like maybe 30 minutes maximum, some insights, and then let's see. So first thing, so, I think I know L&T as an organization. Fortunately, I'm also a shareholder. And when this was set up, actually I went to the annual report, but I think it's a very complex organization. While it is an engineering company, L&T IDPL is also engineering company. So quickly, if you can just tell in a few minutes briefly, is it a global IT role or only IDPL? How does it work? And then we can take it forward.
Sure. As you know, L&T is a big group, and you're right, it's quite complex and it's quite large, extensively large, and it's widespread across globe. Similar to other groups, like within L&T, we have a lot of ICs, we call as independent companies. So under the brand umbrella of L&T Group. So IDPL is one of this IC. IDPL actually was completely into infrastructure development projects. Earlier, we were handling like Hyderabad Metro constructions, and we were handling seaports, we were handling airports, and massive large-scale construction projects as well. So now, recently, the focus is more towards highway business, which is like we have span across, we call it like across Gujarat, Rajasthan, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. So we have various highways which we actually handle them. Our revenue source is only the toll collection, what we get across the highways. And the second main core line of business as of today is the power transmission lines. So we also have a transmission line, we call it a Kudgi transmission line. So that is also stretching across 450 plus kilometers. And then roadways, we are stretching almost 7,000 lane kilometers spanning across India. So we have almost like 11 to 14 companies based on some are very active, some are okay, kind of active. So under the IDPL umbrella, again, we have this 14, we call it the special purpose vehicles. Each project is called an SPV.
Hmm.
and it's a kind of a legal entity by itself. So the group company is IDPL for them, and then from IDPL perspective, we have a centralized IT team who takes care of security or networking infrastructure, applications, of any of these ERP systems, automations, whatever technology you mentioned, that is what is handled from Chennai. And then we serve entire all the companies across spread across India, both for roadways as well as the power transmission lines. So we don't have any separate IT wing for each of these locations specific, except the thin IT support. Major implementations and the strategy designs, rollouts will initiate from our corporate office in Chennai. So though we meet and greet like other L&T entities, we share the knowledge, we keep discussing on what are the new things getting implemented across L&T Group as well. We also have a lot of CI council meetings happening very frequently where we meet all the CIOs across L&T ICs, and we keep sharing the best of the projects and best of the technologies and all. And wherever help required, also we actually use this ecosystem of within L&T Group itself to understand like is there any specific use case where we have, and then we need support. We also check with them. They also keep checking with others. So that is where I think we are really utilizing the best of the IT here, and a lot of the importance is given to IT now. I do not mean that there was no importance earlier, but still now, as a drive from even the corporate L&T group itself, there's a very high focus on IT and digital transformations.
Ah, I think thank you very much. I think that's good. One more project I am aware that L&T did, and because I am a very big user, I think is a Bangalore airport. L&T was also involved in maybe one of the partners in building the Bangalore International Airport, which is truly world class today. And I think being in Bangalore, I practically use it, a lot. Good. I think since you
That's great to
mentioned
hear.
about, yeah, since you mentioned about digital transformation, I mean, let's take the discussion forward. So within L&T IDPL, sir, uh, what are the initiatives, the top priorities from the IT perspective and for digital transformation, as you mentioned? Because being an engineering conglomerate, projects which go for years together, and I understand this is more like B2B or large projects. It's different from B2C. So what do you see, the role of IT and how do you lead digital transformation in L&T IDPL? If you can throw some insights into that.
Yeah. See, basically, looking at the common nomenclature, what you normally see outside, whether we call it a B2B or B2C, it's a little bit different because most of the projects we actually deal with the government agencies, either with the central government or the state governments. So our
Mm.
customers, it's difficult to say they're the customers actually. Our end, I mean, see, actual users are the like all of us who actually use the highways and we
Yes.
pay money. So now, whom do we call as a customer? Is it the person who pays money or who actually gives the contract? So it's a little bit tweak here. But of course, we normally deal all with the government agencies across pan India for our highway projects and as well as power transmission lines. Uh, Digital transformation in IDPL is very much on a very top slot because as I said, like we have a highways. It's completely in a lot of places you may have a network, you may not have a network, and heavy. We need to lay the roads. We need to do the major maintenance. We'll get a lot of change of scope from the various project sites saying that okay, suddenly you need to lay a bridge across the road now. So these are all
Mm.
will come as a change of scope projects, and then we'll also have across agreed as per the agreed schedules. We also do the major maintenance repairs, which will be almost like relaying the roads. That's a huge task. Whether managing the bridges, uh, managing the bridges, or managing the roads, managing the tolls, and doing the complete automation for them to override the manual work. So our intention is to automate as much as possible and have manless dependency.
Mm.
Even if you see the initiatives from the government for the highway projects, they say like within the next 2 years, they don't want any toll booths. They want to operate all the vehicles without any toll booths automatically as you just uh, travel across the road. There'll be no booths, no buildings, nothing in middle of the road. You just travel and automatically based on your GPS locations and the RFID tags, automatically it'll be detected and an amount will be deducted from your accounts, and then you will get an SMS. So that's a future strategy, even what is government is looking for. So then we have to be very much advanced in terms of technology here. During as a full complete digital transformation, what we have did is like we have laid down across multiple verticals, whether it's for claims and legal separately, or it's for operations and maintenance team separate, different applications for them, for finance different applications, for treasury different applications, for our project finance different applications. So our strategy is now to have a unified project which will touch point all these functions, as well as also have a very specific applications, or whether it's in-house or a third party, doesn't matter, but also a very specific use case based applications for the respective functions. But the end goal is to complete automation. So we have taken a big drive here. And then during this COVID time also, we have implemented SAP S4 HANA 1909, which is a greenfield implementation. That's a massive project implementing for 14 companies in a single big bang approach. It was a massive exercise where functional consultants were not there, users were not there, we couldn't get people on the sites, connectivity issues, not availability of people. Uh, but of course, I think we had a very great plan. We have used complete technology, communication tools, or documentation tools, or training tools, and then I think we have overcome this by using the entire best of our technology, and we could really succeed. So part of the digital drive, as I said, we have chopped down into multiple segments. One is for applications, one is for complete automation to automate a lot of manual process within various functions. One is for also for, what do you say, infrastructure and security. So we have now, because for us infrastructure and security plays a vital role, apart from their applications, and then automation using RPA or IoT or AIML based applications and all that, which maybe I can also brief a little bit. But security in infrastructure also plays a very, very vital role. As I said, our collection is a tool, and it is almost real-time interface with the banking systems. So in most of the project sites. So if our network is down, and I'll not be able to collect money from the banks. So that's a revenue loss for us. And then also, like, we have to really make sure that all our networks are completely isolated from hacking or ransomware any kind of attacks. So we spend a lot of time in really looking at and how do we exactly segregate the network lines and traffic for security purpose, for our toll systems, and for our communication systems. So a lot of design goes into that. It's a little bit quite complicated and not like a general this thing. When I even joined L&T, I was also wondering why they have done in this way. But I think as you work in the projects, you go to the sites and actually look into that, you'll really understand. And a lot of emphasis also now going on in a lot of AIML based projects. So we have done video analytics for our highway business. Even SAP S4 HANA with 16 plus SAP modules, with the vendor portal, complete integration of vendor portal, including the contactual people. And also we have implemented a mobile application for our operations and maintenance team to automatically record your locations. And now you can even find the tracking of the person where exactly he's on the field. Even it works on offline online mode, and basically records your accidents, your asset damages, and everything. So that's and completely integrated with SAP. So what all applications, whatever we are implementing, we are making sure that we have a single source of truth, which is a masters, and all applications tie with each other very strongly. And we have recently implemented a video-based analytics. It's one of the fantastic product. I think we are the first in our industry in India who have implemented both SAP with integrated way and also this video-based analyticals for our highway business. So this one automatically detects your missing assets. It will also detect any assets are damaged. And then now the second phase of the project will be auto triggering the notifications to our SAP. So we spend a lot of money both in engineering automation as well as this application automation to be first in India. Most of our projects, what we have done, you can say we are the first in industry in India. So these are the various
Yeah.
digital drives we are looking at. So we are emphasizing on low code, no code platforms for faster development of applications, on a lot of on security. We now looking into implementing almost like 500 plus checklist points for infra and security to further strengthen our network and security. And we are investing a lot more on analytics, data warehouse, data lake. So a lot of projects are pipelined for this year as well, and it's very challenging role.
No, I think these are very good points and very good insights. I must thank you for these points, sir. You mentioned something about, I think L&T is one of the first. You mentioned that toll collection is the primary source of revenue, and I believe L&T is one of the first to participate in this PPP model, in building highways. So I think
Yeah.
that is quite correct. So one more thing, and I think when you're doing these projects, whether it is highways or metro or airports and all, you may be having a lot of teams. You mentioned about the claims department and all. There'll be sales team, projects team, engineering team working at site for years. So how exactly, while you mentioned the IT applications, how does collaboration happening within L&T IDPL? How they collaborate? I mean, there could be meetings, integration. I mean, is there a platform which you use to collaborate seamlessly between the employees? Because EX is also important. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have implemented. We are on the Microsoft platform,
Hmm.
so we have implemented O365 complete like Teams. Earlier we had the Cisco and VC rooms are anyway there, but I think as we are moving towards COVID phases, I think everybody it's a boon or bane kind of a question. I mean, in our case, I can say that it was like a boom. I mean, it was very positive that entire teams across even at the project sites, they have very quickly learned how to use their teams and then have uh, meetings, video calls, team calls or chats, everything in our platform. But the good point was, even before the lockdown happened, we really planned this much before. Couple of months before itself, we planned. We had arranged almost like I can say 25 training sessions happened for the entire company employees across our project sites on usage of Teams, uh, sharing of documentation, how do you communicate with each other. So we have set up the entire model even much before the lockdown even was announced. So that was a good strategic decision which we took and also supported by management. So which really helped us. And also like for our highway business, like to reach the users, of course, like Teams is a main thing. O365, we use complete O365 suite, a lot of features, whatever is available there, we use it the fullest extent. But apart from that, like communication is also through applications. Now, as you said, like say earlier, a lot of people used to do the paperwork at the sites. So until they come back to the office, scan it or put in an Excel upload, there was no information coming to the corporate team because they're clueless on what's exactly happening at the actual project sites. Now we have implemented a lot of tools and technologies where, like say, now the middle has been reached at the site. Now the vendor has to do the laying of the road, but it has to be validated and checked. Quality inspection has to happen. Now we have developed an application, whether it's in offline or online mode, doesn't matter. One, it entire inspection happens in the mobile app, including it comes with the results as well. And if somebody is approving it, based on acceptance rules, if there is something fail, like say I have a range of 2 to 2.5 is a quality parameter for a particular test material. It say it comes as 2.6. The system will say it failed the quality test. Somebody can still approve with a deviation.
Hmm.
So, but now that results come quickly to our central system, and then people are intimated. The same way when accident happens, within couple of minutes, once it is recorded in the system, if it is a fatality or anything, the information goes to all the respective teams immediately. So earlier it was more of a manual thing. They have to record it, they have to make a phone call, or they have to say this is a critical incident happened. But now we are actually really using in terms of both all this platform of applications to reach people and alert people.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, thanks for that input. So I think let's take it forward. You mentioned about digital transformation. So I mean, cloud is a new buzzword, as one of the pillars of digital transformation. I mean, I'm sure a lot of application, but if you can just briefly elaborate, are your solutions hosted on cloud, private cloud, or a public cloud, or it is everything is on premise? I mean, have you overcome those hurdles? What is it? Your cloud journey,
Yeah,
specifically for IT? Yeah.
sure. Uh, So I'm very much quite used of cloud because I've been implementing cloud across early companies as well. So, but it was a little bit different story here when I moved to IDPL. Being in, I mean, L&T Group, there was a little bit hesitation that not much entities in L&T Group moved into cloud. So they said still L&T had their own data centers, and still we are using some of their data centers as well. So there was a lot of ifs and buts. But I think once I presented the strategy and what are the various reasons that we should move to cloud, I think the management was very receptive, and they said yes, thumbs up, immediately go. Because now there are a couple of factors. Of course, a lot of fear factors are there in terms of people say it's a data security is a concern, cost is a concern. I'm not very sure the performance is available or not. I'm not sure whether the capacity is available or not. So a lot of ifs and but questions are there. But I think I'm truly for cloud. But again, it depends on your business use cases. So we are in public cloud, we are in private cloud, we are in hybrid cloud. We use all the options based on the type of application. So for example, SAP and then a couple of our vendor portal and the mobile app for operations and maintenance, which is used for corrective and preventive maintenance and all, we use the cloud applications. And there also, if you see for one of the application, we use the dev QA on-prem, production is on the cloud. And for certain instance, we have dev QA and other test instances on cloud. It really, I mean, you need to really understand the entire depth and breadth of the cloud, the costing models, in which use cases you have to really use the cloud, in which use case actually cloud may not make sense. So again, as I said, it's purely depending on your statutory requirements and your business use cases. But I think people should really look at cloud. I'm saving a lot of money in cloud, frankly speaking, because now I have a dev and QA. Uh, Initially, for the project duration, we are using for number of hours or days. Now I do not switch it on. I just use a switch on, switch off option, and we only pay for the number of hours we use the instances. So storage, I mean, it provides a lot more storage options of low cost storage and all that, which is not practically possible in your on-prem. Now even I think a lot of cloud vendors are coming with their same, like AWS is coming with their outpost where they'll put up their server in your premises and then you can use the entire AWS services. Similarly, HP is coming with the Green Lake, they'll set up their server in your premises and you only pay as you use. So it purely depends on, you have to understand the entire cloud technology, the concepts of it, the various costing models, and how you can actually save money, what type of applications we should actually uh, chart out, whether it is a security related or a data privacy related or just an R&D related, or where you want a very high scalability within few seconds and minutes you want the servers to be up and running. So what kind of use cases you need to have? I think it just depends. But I am seeing the cloud, it is really positive. But again, there are, if the heavy loads are very heavy, very, very heavy, like say you have a database of 50 TBs and you need a computing power of a massive 300 CPU, 500 CPU. And maybe sometimes it may be a little bit costly affair, but again, you need to bridge. Security is not a concern. What I feel is if you do the entire setup, security, all the cloud providers have ample certification than what you'll normally have in on-prem. That is for given. But only thing is you need to really utilize and then build one more layer of your security in terms of firewall or ports or whatever. I think you should be good enough. So we have
Yeah, good.
hosted, we are seeing the advantages of the cloud. And the same thing, as I said, we use all the models, hybrid cloud, private cloud, and public cloud as well.
Yeah, that is great. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I think you touched upon a lot of things. You spoke about briefly on automation. You spoke about you do video analytics. You have SAP and all integrated. So I think there was one question which I think which pretty much covers everything. But I just want to build on that. I think when we're doing these projects, and a lot of them will be your employees. There could be you could subcontract to multiple vendors. And I think we have seen that nowadays safety and all is very very crucial, while building, especially in construction activity and all, safety is very crucial. While you may be monitoring all of things, but a lot of times we have seen there is delay, in when I mentioned an accident occurs and you're tracking it. So during these projects, do you use any kind of a communication platform to seamlessly trigger alerts or bring people in conference, or any kind of an IT applications? And is it really important? And what is it that you all do for from especially for safety and crisis management perspective?
Okay. No, we have some in-house apps. As I said, like I think L&T
Hmm.
has a very big focus on safety. So that is given. So because they value the life of every person, they feel uh, people are more important than anything
Hmm.
else. So very high focus goes on the safety, and then every IC develops their own safety related applications and communication models. The same way goes with IDPL. We, as I said, we have developed some in-house applications where any accident happens or any safety related concerns are raised. Immediately, once the information is punched in the system, based on the criticality level, it will send the alerts to the respective functional heads or the project heads or the management team in case it has to be reported. But we don't have any other communication tools other than what I mentioned earlier. So, but as of now, we have not seen any major issues because we have the kind of a walkie-talkies and we have this lot of communication devices which are used at the project levels. So even if the
Hmm.
highways or something is happening, they communicate back to the control centers, and control centers immediately reach the people in a head office or to the management team. But safety is given very high importance, and we
That
record the number of accidents, fatalities, and then we are supposed to deliver a monthly report to the management mentioning what kind of accidents happened. Is it like impact is low, medium, or high? Any fatalities happen? If yes, what is the action plan to avoid the fatalities? We also identify the zones where majorly accidents keep happening, and we also mark
Hmm.
them. And again, there'll be a tracking on how to reduce the accidents. So we also approach a lot of design partners, design thinking. So we implement a lot of design thinking principles there, not just like basic engineering principles. It'll be combination of engineering principles as well as the design thinking principles. We also engage a lot of partners who think more from your behavioral point of view. Like as a human, how do I think? If I'm a driver, so how do I take a deep curve? So if I'm a truck driver, how do I behave? If I'm a vehicle driver, how do I behave? So we also take these behavioral concepts in designing and making sure the accidents are reduced.
that is very insightful, I think. Thank you so much. I think one last question. I think we have got a lot of things covered. And this is, we ask whenever I do a fireside chat, this is very important because last 1.5 years, we have all been in a pandemic, and most industries have suffered a lot. Business has shrunk. And I'm sure infrastructure projects, we all know, right? They are going
Yeah,
slow. I mean, you're not getting
very much,
people and
very
all.
much.
Healthcare is the only industry which is booming. Hospitals are full and all. So, and in L&T IDPL, how you have been managing in COVID times, how employees are managing it, are they working from home? Because of course you have to, your people have to be at site. So if you can
Yeah,
just, build on that, because that
sure.
is very relevant in today's times for your industry.
Yeah, yeah, very much, very much. Thanks for bringing that point. I think this is where I think as an L&T group, uh, we have a lot of different opinions. Of course, we are hit very badly because, as I said, our collection is only a toll. During the entire
Mm.
COVID, it was complete lockdown, and
Yes.
a lot of places, the government also announced that there will be no uh, vehicle movement at all happening across projects. So all our tolls were completely shut down. And in fact, we also designed our tollways not to impact the business, like by designing no man tolls. That means that even if the
Mm.
vehicle is coming on an emergency basis, the boom barriers open, but it'll still track which vehicle has come. So we were one of the very first team who have designed this even before the COVID lockdown happened on a trial basis, and then that we implemented during the COVID. So we have used uh, automation also during the COVID time. During the COVID time, actually, one more good thing was we have not used any monitoring tools. Our management was very clear. saying that we trust people. It is the responsibility of the people, your functional heads and the team leaders, to make sure they talk to their respective next level teams and make sure first priorities about the safety of the employee, how their family is. That is the first topic. You have any meeting, this is the first topic to be taken up. So a lot of emphasis was on there on the sharing and caring methodology. So first take care of employee, their family members, if possible even talk to their family members, any support required, first make them comfortable and this thing. Second thing is whatever is required in terms of IT, your access levels or internet base or whatever. So that was already taken care. So, but management said no monitoring tools, no tracking tool. We purely trust entire employees. They know what to deliver, and we are sure they will deliver. In fact, during the COVID time, we have implemented all these massive projects, which is unheard. Even a couple of big four people were little bit puzzled when we went for to implement project in a big bang approach in one shot. They said, sir, this is a massive project. I think you should go in 2 or 3 phases. That was even the big four came back. But we have implemented successfully during the COVID time. That shows uh, how team was motivated. And of course, the team has come back uh, very strongly, very supportive, right from management, functional heads, the core team, super users, end users. Everybody was excited because they had a full free hand. They had a full free hand to use the time, whatever was there. So because no questions was asked, you're only say this is the task you have to deliver. You work in morning, evening, night, doesn't matter, but just deliver it. So we have implemented massive project, SAP, vendor portal, the mobile application for operations, both for rows and transmission lines, and like that various automation projects we have implemented during the COVID time. So, but still, as I said, as an L&T group, they said focus is on caring, sharing, and empathy. That is the first thing, and trust people.
No, then I think that is a very good insight because a lot of companies I have interacted with, they one of the biggest challenges during COVID times was, actually measuring employee productivity. What are they doing from home? They wanted to know. Are they really spending 8 hours? Are they looking at our applications or something else? I think this is a different perspective. I think it shows about L&T's leadership. So I
Yeah,
think thank you very much. I think that is all I had. I think we have spent around 30 minutes. Thank you so much, Mr. Srinivas Rao, for your inputs. Uh, I really, really good insights. So Khushbu,
yeah.
over to you.
Thanks.
Yes, thanks.
Wonderful discussion and very exciting insights, Mr. Srinivas, and also to learn about the culture of L&T. These are the times when you actually understand people and you show empathy. So great insights and wonderful to learn your journey as well. So thank you so much for joining us today for this interview, and I'm sure our viewers are going to get good insights.
Thanks you, Khushbu, and thank you, Bhavesh, a lot. And I'm really thankful for giving this opportunity to share my views. Thanks a lot.
So